Okay, so we're going to talk about how hormones, the endocrine system, can regulate the calories that you take in. So regulation of caloric intake, we've got two primary objectives. Okay, so we're going to talk about short-term control, and then we're going to talk about hormones of gherlin, and leptin. I've heard it both ways, and I never know which way is the right way to say that first one. Okay, so depending on when you took 220 from me, you might have heard about CCK, okay, cholecystokinin, okay? You might not have, and that's okay. We're not going to get too deep into it, but it's important to know that CCK comes from the small intestine, and it's released by the small intestine, but the stimulus for it is your belly's full, your stomach's full. Okay, and one of the things, it does a number of things, but one of the things that it does with regards to caloric intake is that it gets rid of that urge to be hungry, the urge to eat. Okay, so it's kind of a negative feedback loop. And then we've got insulin. Okay, so insulin is released from the pancreas, and as we talked about earlier, if you've got high blood glucose, we release insulin. Well, if you've got high blood glucose, it means you've got lots of stuff floating around. You don't need more. And so that will also suppress hunger. On the opposite side, you've got gherlin. And this is released by the stomach when it's empty. This is what makes you feel hungry, or one of the things that makes you feel hungry. So CCK and insulin reduce your hunger. Gherlin increases your hunger. So this leads us to adipose tissue. There are other hormones that are released, and one of those is leptin. Okay. And so leptin is one of the ones that helps with regulation of hunger and caloric intake. Okay, and so, sorry for that pause. I don't know how it comes across. Had to cough. Leptin is the opposite of ghrelin in that it doesn't cause hunger. It also inhibits hunger. Now, it's just like we can change the or like with most hormones, we can change the sensitivity. In other words, how much of a hormone is required to affect a change. Okay, and so we can decrease leptin sensitivity. Okay, so for example, people that are obese still have relatively high levels of leptin, but they still feel hungry all the time. What's interesting is that they also have reduced ghrelin. Okay, and so there is this interaction, this interplay between these hormones that we can affect depending on what's going on. Okay, and so if we have high levels of fat, we can kind of counteract what these hormones normally do. All right, so think about it when you go exercise. So when you're actually exercising, do you feel hungry? And generally you don't. And this is anecdotal, and it might just be on the brain. But I've been running a lot lately with my daughter. She's been preparing to go off and run for her college. And we've been running more than I have run in a long time, and I am constantly hungry. And there have been a few times where I am like really, really hungry, but it's like it's early in the morning, we got to go. When it's not too cool or not too hot, not too humid. And there have been times where my stomach has actually been hurting because I'm hungry, but I need to go run. And what's been interesting is that once I start that run, that hunger, that urge has gone away. Okay. As soon as I'm done, it's back, and it's back with a vengeance. But during the time that I was exercising, it's gone away. And assuming that this isn't all in my head and just thinking about this kind of thing, this is likely due to the fact that I have decreased leptin. Okay. And when we exercise chronically, so we do lots of exercise and we, if we're working out more, that's going to change our energy balance. And what we mean by that is, well, we're using more calories, so we need to take in more calories. And so as a result, I'm hungry, right? And these days, I feel like I am constantly hungry. All right. So, I went from running about 20, 25 miles a week during the first probably 5 months of the year. Over the last 3 months, especially the last month and a half, I've been running closer to 50 miles a week, which is a lot for my old body. And so I am constantly eating. Okay. And so chronic exercise has changed that. And that is where we're going to end.